Hello everyone, welcome back to PYQ series of Ancient Medieval and Art and Culture. So previously we discussed about the 2020 PYQs and here we'll be discussing about 2021 questions. Like 2020 Ancient Medieval Art and Culture inda illi kuda around 10 questions appear agide. And here if you see the questions are almost typically of the same level as asked in 2020. So questions they are a little difficult compared to other subjects. But the scope for guesswork compared to other subjects is very less here because ancient medieval it is more memory dominated topics. Despite that, if there is scope for guesswork, we'll try to do it. If not, we'll try to answer through memory. So if PYQ alli ನಾವು memory na gain ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ PYQ topics ಮೇಲೆ if you get a good understanding and learn things, then that might be helpful for the subsequent year prelims paper. So with that view, let us start the video. Simple question, static question. Idu ancient medieval basics ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ we should have been able to answer. So with reference to medieval India, which one of the following is correct sequence of ascending order in terms of size? Paragana, Sarkar and Suba. All these three terms were used under Mughals. See, Mughals had a little different terminologies. Delhi Sultanate had a little bit of different terminologies. Confuse agbedi. Mughals alli province ke Suba anta helidru. So smaller, a cluster of villages was called Paragana. Cluster of villages was called Paragana. Intermediate entity was called Sarkar and province was called Suba, which was headed by a Subedar. So here province is the bigger entity, whereas in Delhi Sultanate it was Ikta. Ikta was called a province which was headed by a Iktedar. So confuse abidi, largest entity in a napka idkoli confuse agalla. Delhi Sultanate al Ikta, illi Suba, Subedar. So Paragana, Sarkar and Suba is the right answer to this question. Few other terms which we need to know. See, Paragana is a cluster of villages, like I said, and when we are dealing at the Paragana level, there are few offices or terms. Konango is a record keeper. Chaudhry is a famous name. It is a local headman. E terms kuda gottirbeku because Konango or Chaudhry mel term pick ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Sarkar means a group of Paraganas. So we can take it as a district. So here we will have Amil. Amil is a revenue collector or Faujdars. So larger entity to this is Suba, which will be headed by Subedar, who is nothing but a provincial governor. We'll move to the next question. So look, in this question, according to Portuguese writer Nunes, now we would have heard of Nunes and we would have heard of Vijayanagara Empire, and we would have heard what was the condition of women in Vijayanagara Empire. But it is hard to say that we would have studied each of these things, that women were in wrestling, astrology, accounting. If ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಯಾದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ exactly ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಓದಿರೋ doubtful. But what is that view that we have? That woman had a decent condition in Vijayanagara Empire. So each of this kingdom ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. For instance, Rigvedal woman had more freedom. Later Vedically woman freedom was been reduced. But when you speak of Vijayanagara, we have a positive view when it comes to women. So even if you did not know anything, it was good or better to take that woman had access to each of this: wrestling, astrology, accounting, soothsaying. Even if you did not know what soothsaying is, still we could have gone for 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is exactly the answer. So illi guesswork bantu nodi, smart guesswork. Nimge eno gottilla andru kuda soothsaying enanta nimage gottilla andru kuda you could have easily got the answer. So this is how you could have done smart guesswork in this question. But for this you need to have a picture of Vijayanagara as to what kind of empire was it. Was it a positive one when it comes to women or was it restrictive? Idu gottirbekiತ್ತು. See, actually this question has been picked from the text of Nunes. Nunes has visited, so many people had visited. Abdul Razak, Nunes, Domingo Pace, each of these people have visited Vijayanagara Empire. So he wrote that women can wrestle, act as soothsayer, act as accountants, they can play music, act as judges and so on. From one of these works, these terms have been picked and they have formulated a question. Let us look at the next question. A knowledge based question. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan reached the Indus in pursuit of fugitive Khwarazm prince. This is correct. It was during the reign of Iltutmish. Genghis Khan was a Mongol. So first Mongol invasion happened in India during the time of Iltutmish. ಇದನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಯು ಸಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ ಇನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ Iltutmish, it was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan, the first Mongol invasion happened in India. But Iltutmish did not support the fugitive Khwarazm prince, and that is what saved Mongol invasion to India. So Mongols, they came close to India but not entering the India in deep because of the non-support given by Iltutmish, and this has been praised because Genghis Khan was very very strong at that point of time. Look at second statement. Having known that statement 1 is correct, this is a memory part. Let us look at statement 2. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Taimur occupied Multan and crossed the Indus. Okay, let us see third statement. Okay, third statement is not needed. But suppose if we did not know about statement 1, we'll look at third statement. It was during the reign of Devaraya II empire that Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala. Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala in Calicut. So Vasco da Gama ಯಾವಾಗ ರೀಚ್ ಆದ ಅನ್ನೋದು ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಫೇಮಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. 1498, ಇದು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗಿದ್ರು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇವರಾಯ II. ಸೊ ವಿಜಯನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಗಮ, ಸಲುವ, ತುಳುವ, ಅರವಿಡು 4 ಡೈನೆಸ್ಟೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇವರಾಯ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಂಗಮ. So Sangama rule had almost within 1450-1460 itself, Sangama rule had ended. So how can Devaraya be under reign when Vasco da Gama came? Made up thing by using the timeline. So timeline ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಇದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. So 3 ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. So having known statement 1 or having known statement 3, we could have eliminated 2 options. Now let us see second statement. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Taimur occupied Multan. It was not during reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It was not during his reign. This statement is wrong. Answer to this question is A. We'll see the static part to this. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was Sultan during 1325 to 1351. Exactly the ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. From 12th to 16th century, Delhi Sultanate was there. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq having coming earlier, so we can take it to be 14th century because 1526 ಗೆ Mughal start ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So somewhere in 14th century ಇರಬಹುದು. And when did Taimur invade? Taimur invaded India, crossed the Indus. So this is very very close timeline. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq was not in reign when he had invaded. See, timelines is very very important here. This is humanly impossible to remember the exact year. So this was a very difficult statement to be answered because 1351 ಗೆ Muhammad bin Tughlaq reign end ಆಯಿತು, 1398 ಗೆ Taimur invaded. Just that we need to know that Taimur invaded not when Muhammad bin Tughlaq was there. He invaded when Nasiruddin Muhammad Shah Tughlaq was in reign. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ we'll have to know when did Taimur invade India? He invaded when Nasiruddin Muhammad Shah Tughlaq was in reign. Next Devaraya II, same thing. Vasco da Gama bandit 1498, Devaraya II, his reign had already been ended by 1446. So ಇದನ್ನೇ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿದ್ರೆ one thing you need to notice, Nasiruddin Shah Tughlaq was in reign when Taimur invaded. First thing. Second thing that you need to remember is when Vasco da Gama came to India, who was the Vijayanagara ruler who was there? It was Immadi Narsimha of Saluva. Like I said, Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva, Aravidu. So second dynasty had already come to power, and among them it was Narasimha, Immadi Narasimha, who was there when Vasco da Gama had come. Let us look at the next question. Which of the following ancient towns is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting and management by building a series of dams and channelizing water into connected reservoirs? IVC topic, Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization is very very important, and each of these areas ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರಬೇಕು. ರೋಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ರಾಕಿಗರಿ ಹರಿಯಾಣ, ಕಾಲಿಬಂಗನ್ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್, ಧೋಲವೀರಾ ಗುಜರಾತ್. So this is a very very static question. For example, Lothal ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ what is that important thing? One thing that you know, it is port. Likewise water harvesting ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it is Dholavira. Most important feature ಏನಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, Dholavira water harvesting system. Likewise Lothal was a port. when we speak of Rakigari, the most important fact that comes to our mind that this is the largest site in Indus Valley civilization. It is not Mohenjo-daro. Through later research, it has been found that Rakigari is the biggest site of IVC. So Rakigari mele question innu bandila, so there is a good chance that they could ask. So static things that we need to know. See, one, Dholavira. Dholavira is known for its water management system, one thing. Second thing, Dholavira is in Gujarat. Third thing, Dholavira is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Idu kuda gottirbeku. Right? And one more fact about Dholavira is that the location is on Tropic of Cancer. If they have to blend geography and ancient history, then this is the way. Dholavira is of ancient syllabus, Tropic of Cancer is of geography. So they can ask which of the following sites of IBC passes the Tropic of Cancer and give you 4 statements. All of those places being either in Rajasthan or Gujarat, very, very close. Unless and until you don't know this, you can't answer this. So Kalibangan. Kalibangan of Rajasthan, a couple of things if we have to know. Remember this, that it is known for artificial irrigation. Irrigation, Dholavira. Artificial irrigation, Kalibangan. And Mesopotamian pottery has been found in Kalibangan. And another thing is Ghaggar Hakra river passes through it. It is not the Ghaggar river which is a tributary of Ganga. This is Ghaggar Hakra river. Similar thing, Rakigari. One thing is that it is in Haryana, and it was through the DNA analysis picked from this spot that they had made analysis that Harappan people, they had a distinct origin. Roper Satluj river passes through it. So Yaya Harappan site alli Yaya river pass agate, we'll have to have understanding because in the PYQ they have asked it in match the following. They could ask it again. Harappan region in the Ravi river pass agate, Lotalinda Bogwa river pass agate, Mohenjo-daro, Fort Diji, ಮತ್ತೆ Channudaro in the Indus river pass agate. So like this we'll have to make a note of. And like I said there, Kalibangan river, Kalibangan area through Ghaggar Hakra river pass agate. Let us look into the next question. From the decline of Guptas until the rise of Harshavardhana in the early 7th century. So basically that speaking from 5th to 7th century time only. Which of the following kingdoms were holding power in northern India? See, one thing is timeline, another thing is northern India. So anything which is north in North India you need to eliminate. Look at the options. Guptas of Magadha, Paramaras, Pushyabhutas, Maukaryas, Maitrakyas. See, Maitrakyas and Maukaryas, very less chance that we would have heard. Guptas we would have heard, Paramaras we would have heard, and Yadavas we would have heard. If you know, like I said, Gurjara Pratyaras, which we spoke of in last paper. Last paper Gurjara Pratyaras ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ it got divided. Gurjara Pratyaras got divided into Paramaras, Chandelas. So, and when did this happen? It was late, post 8th, 9th century. So, it was not between 5th and 7th century. See, the Gurjara Pratyaras themselves, they came to power in 8th century. And after Gurjara Pratyara got divided was Paramaras when it got formed. So, 5th madhya 7th century madhya 2 bandiralla. Yadavas of Devagiri, they were of 12th century. So, this is also not the option. So, first 2 na eliminate madana. So, it is 1, 3, 4, 6 or 5, 6. 4 ಮತ್ತೆ 6 ಮಧ್ಯ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. But we know that Yadavas did not belong to this timeline. This was one way of thinking it. Another way is Yadavas of Devagiri. Devagiri, where was it? It was almost to the western part. Maharashtra regional ittu Devagiri. So it is not properly northern Indian also. So in that sense also, if we knew where the Yadavas were or where Devagiri is, in that sense also we could have eliminated 5. So 2 madhya 5 eliminate madidre 1, 3, 4 and 6. Even without knowing who 4 and 6 are, we could have answered this question. So now that these have been asked, it becomes important hint for us. So we'll know basic statics. Paramara dynasty of Malwa ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಂತು 9th century after Gujara Prithira got divided. Yadava dynasty starting from 12th century, Devagiri or Daulatabad. Pushyabhitis or Vardhana dynasty. So Pushyabhutis means Harshavardhana belongs to this dynasty. So Pushyabhiti or Vardhana dynasty which began from 7th century. So their capital of Pushyabhiti or Vardhana dynasty is Thaneshwar. And the first ruler was Prabhakara Vardhan. After Prabhakara Vardhan comes Rajavardhan. After them comes Harshavardhana. The only thing that we remember is Harshavardhana. Try to remember this also. Vardhana dynasty started from Prabhakara Vardhana. Pushyabhitis is nothing but Vardhana dynasty. Then comes Harshavardhana. One thing which we can try to remember of Maitrakyas and Mokharis, that both served under Guptas, and once Gupta rule ended, they established their independent rule. We'll move to the next question. Mitakshara and Dayabaga school. So when we saw this question in the exam hall, this was a bouncer. Mitakshara Dayabaga ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ look at the statements. It is very difficult to deduce because the statements ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು hint ಸಿಕ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು basic idea ಇಲ್ಲ. If you did not know anything, then this was meant to be left. But now that Mitakshara and Dayabaga have been asked, we'll try to understand little or basic concepts relating to this. See, Mitakshara and Dayabaga school, these are related to how we divide the property, and these are based on the region. So one is Mitakshara, one is Dayabaga. Mitakshara is related to the mainstream India. Dayabaga is not of mainstream India, it is towards the eastern part of India, say like Bengal and Assam region. So Mitakshara Dayabaga difference ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, in Mitakshara a person who is born would have the right to property from the day he or she has been born, whereas in Dayabaga a person can claim the right to property only after the predecessor is dead or only after the father is died. In Mitakshara the right to property is only for the son and not for the female, whereas in Dayabaga both have the property rights. Let us keep this in mind and look at the options. Mitakshara was a civil law for upper caste and Dayabaga was civil law for lower caste. So this differentiation was not based upon caste, it was based on region. Adre example now with first time noted, we could accept it because we do not know anything about it. But having said the details about Mitakshara and Dayabaga, we know that one is wrong. If one is wrong, which of the two is correct? In the Mitakshara system, son can claim right to property during the lifetime of the father, whereas in Dayabaga it is only after death of the father. So 2 is correct, answer is 2. In Mitakshara system deals with matter related to property held by male members only, whereas Dayabaga system deals with matter held with both male and this. Right. So let us see the solution. Mitakshara Dayabaga, these are the schools of Hindu law which will provide views on property ownership or the inheritance. So Mitakshara mainstream India, Dayabaga Bengal and Assam. ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರಬಹುದು ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಲಿ. Mitakshara gives anyone the right to property just after their birth. Dayabaga does not give anyone the right to property unless and until the death of the forefathers. And Mitakshara allows only the male members to hold co-property with their forefathers, whereas Dayabaga allows both. Co-personals means holding of co-ownership. Statement 3 is wrong because it speaks directly of the ownership and not of the co-ownership. Right, so we'll move to next question. With reference to India, terms halbi, ho and q. Let me give you one hint. If you have solved modern history PYQs, then you would have come across this term ho. Ho and Munda uprising. Ho is something related to the tribal thing. So look at the options available. Dance. First thing, you need to know all the classical dances, and you need to have a broad idea of which are the folk dances done in these states. So dance alla, musical instrument alla, cave painting alla, tribal language, anything related to tribal. The only option relating to tribal is this. Look at the terms. Halbi itself looks like a tribe name. Ho, Q, these are tribal languages. Easy question which you could have answered even without having good knowledge of it. Look at the next question. With reference to history of ancient India, ಭಾವಭೂತಿ, ಹಸ್ತಿಮಲ್ಲ, ಶಮೇಶ್ವರ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳ್ದಂಗಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಲ್ದಾಗಿರೋ ಭಾವಭೂತಿ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ. ಭಾವಭೂತಿ was a poet and a playwriter. He was not a Jain monk. He was not an architect or philosopher. He was a playwright and a poet. ಭಾವಭೂತಿ at least ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. And when did this ಭಾವಭೂತಿ serve? 8th century. Exactly ruler ಯಾರು ಅಂತ there is no proper records, but ಭಾವಭೂತಿ of 8th century. Hastimalla, there is record that he served under Solanki kings. And where were Solankis? In the Deccan region. And Hastimalla was a Jain poet. Now, good thing which we can remember is ಭಾವಭೂತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಶಮೇಶ್ವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. that ಭಾವಭೂತಿ belonged to 8th century and he was a poet. Shameshwara, he served under Solanki kingdom and Shameshwara was a Jain monk, Jain poet, sorry. Even this question, though we have heard about all these stupas, exactly we do not know which river it is. Sanchi stupa, Pandolena caves, Amaravati stupa. The answer to this is Ajanta caves lies in the gorge of Wagora river. See, Amaravati stupa. So Amaravati, we know it is in Andhra Pradesh region. So we could have said that it lies close to Krishna rather than Godavari. Krishna rather than Godavari, because Godavari comes on top, Krishna comes bottom. So DL ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. ಬೇರೆದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಸಂಚಿ ಸ್ತೂಪ, ಓಕೆ, ಸಂಚಿ ಸ್ತೂಪ, if this is Madhya Pradesh, Sanchi stupa could be somewhere at the center or somewhere in this region. And Chambal river, if you know, Chambal river, it cuts like this on the top and the left corner. So Sanchi stupa kuda idral baralla anta helbodittu. Guess work ಮಾಡಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎರಡು ಮಧ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. If you have to make a guess work. Amaravati stupa, like I said, is situated close to Krishna river. Sanchi stupa is located close to Betwa river and not the one which they had given. So Ajanta caves comes in Sahyadri range and close to Wagora river. So one more thing about Ajanta caves. See, Ajanta caves, 29 caves ide, it is related only to Buddhism. See, Ajanta, AJ is related to only Buddhism. Whereas what about Ellora? In Ellora there is all three faiths. There is Buddhism, there is Jainism, there is Hinduism. Hinduism yake Ellora caves alli there is Kailashnath rock cut temple which is very very famous of Shiva. So Ellora all three faiths ide, whereas Ajanta dalli there is only Buddhism. But Buddhism all sort of different themes ide. There is sculpture, there is painting, there is mural painting and so on. So in Ajanta there are 29 caves, 25 are viharas, 4 are chaityas. Viharas use chaityas use chaitya is prayer halls. Vihara is used for residence. Idr mel kuda UPSC PYQ question bandide. So Ajanta 29 and 24 is viharas. Istu namige ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Because caves is an important topic from the UPSC lens. With reference to Chauset Yogini temple. Before talking about this question, I'll tell you why this question was been asked. Art and culture really, like I said, in Garba dance, art and culture really, anything which has current relevance becomes more important. Chauset Yogini temple provided inspiration for the new parliamentary building, and that is why this question had been asked. Chauset Yogini temple situated near Morena, Madhya Pradesh. It is circular temple built during reign of so and so dynasty. We wouldn't have heard about this temple had we not studied current affairs. So let us assume we did not study anything. Let us say we did not study current affairs. How is that we could have answered? It is the only circular temple. India is known for a rich heritage of temples. So it is the only circular temple. The chances are very very less. Having taken 2 to be wrong, you directly get the answer 1 and 4, which is actually true. The design has given rise to popular belief that it is the inspiration behind Indian parliamentary building. Indian parliamentary building was in news when in the year 2020, 21, 22, 2020, 21 time ali, this was in news. So this has been picked directly from the current affairs. So this is how current affairs relevance comes in art and culture, because Static questions on art and culture have been asked time and again earlier, and now they are not asking. Now there's no point in studying and going deep in Chaucer Yogini temple because it was a one-time offer which was been asked. ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೀಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೋ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. IVC, ಜೈನಿಸಮ್, ಬುದ್ಧಿಸಮ್, ಮೌರ್ಯಾಸ್, ಗುಪ್ತಾಸ್, ಸಾತವಾಹನಾಸ್, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕೂಟಾಸ್, ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ rather than going for these topics which are like once asked. Okay, I think there's one more question. So historical place and well known for Burzahom. It is very well mentioned in New NCERT. Burzahom is a Neolithic site. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Burzahom is in Jammu and Kashmir. Neolithic site. So ಈ ಹೆಸರೇ ಕೇಳಿರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So rock cut shrine ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. This is wrong. Chandraketugar, terracotta and Ganeshwar copper artifacts. Ganeshwar part, Ganeshwar area is indeed known for copper artifacts. This is famous and we need to know this. 1 is wrong, 3 is anyway correct. And Chandraketugar, though we do not know where Chandraketugar is, terracotta art is found in varied areas of India. So our sense alli we could have taken this to be correct. Answer is D. So nodi, Burzahom Jammu Kashmir rock cut shrines andidare. Suppose ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, how is that you could have answered? Burzahom ಅನ್ನೋದು at least Jammu Kashmir ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, you know that Jammu Kashmir ಅಲ್ಲಿ what is the region? See, rock cut shrines ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? Deccan Plateau ಇದೆ, because we have very strong base there, rocky surfaces ಇದೆ, that is why rock cut shrines could be done. Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ rock cut shrines. Geography logic, how you can interrelate. So Burzahom ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ 1 ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. And if you look at terracotta art, it's not like gold which is found only in certain regions. Terracotta art, it is found over a broad region. Northern plains, ಆ region ಅಥವಾ eastern plains, ಈ region ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. So Chandraketugar ಇದು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ we could have accepted and taken D to be correct. So if you look at the solution, Burzahom, like I said, Neolithic time period, Kashmir Valley. Chandraketugar is in West Bengal. Now we need to remember this, that Chandraketugar is in West Bengal and is known for terracotta art. Next, Ganeshwar Jodhpur. Ganeshwar Jodhpur region is known for Khetri copper mines. Now copper distribution ellide anta kuda odidre, then also will mention this Khetri copper mines. So there was a couple of questions where we could use guesswork, but rest of the questions, like I said, you need to have basic minimum knowledge to even answer it. So that is why ancient and medieval, these questions, they are slightly on a tougher note. Having said this, thank you for watching the video. I hope you liked it.